It's Monday night on a crazy MMA week eve, if you want to call it that, ladies and gentlemen. This is Cageside Live, brought to you by CagesidePress.com. If you want to sponsor us, hit us up. We're available. I'm Eddie Lotz, Alex Bohemian, and of course Gabriel Gonzalez. Get right into very quick into this last weekend. UFC. We had UFC. We had no Bellator. We had PFL last Wednesday, I want to say. But kicking it off with Brandon Vera. Brandon Vera. Why did I say Brandon Vera? Wow. Okay.
That's how you know you're an old school guy.
I am still old school.
You remember when he was the only Vera that people talked about?
We didn't have to worry about no other Vera. Then we got Chito Vera, Marlon Vera with his dominant win of Rob Font. Gabriel, like we starting to expect this from Marlon. Marlon at first was that guy that came out and everyone thought they were going to start him, and suddenly he starts piling up wins, and he was super humble and everything. Just want to get money from my daughter, which we're very grateful that he did. But now he's like talking kind of shit. He's just like, I'm gonna fuck motherfuckers up on this and that. What do you think of the evolution of before we get into the fight? What do you think of the evolution of Chito so far?
He's just kind of embraced more who he is. I think that there have been a couple people it expresses itself differently, but in a lot of similar way. Paige Van Zant, it's like, look, you stop trying to be Miss America and you just go out there and embrace. You start feeling yourself and you just do your thing and you just express that. It's the same thing with Chito. I think that he just found, he said in an interview, it's like, I just stopped caring what people think and just started saying what's on my mind. And people love it. And I think that is translated into his confidence. And I think that's what we're seeing out there. Besides the fact that I think he just kind of turned the corner a little bit subtly over the years with Perillo and Ruka Jim over there. So I think that's just what we're seeing. And Saturday night, that was like a physical expression of it. Font was doing his thing, and it was just the swag and the gut of Chito Vera got those knockdowns, got the damage he needed, consecutive rounds to take it.
It was honestly like the knockdowns, talking about the fight itself, the knockdowns. Alex, every time he knocked him down and I expected him to go in and kill him, just finish him off, he ended up being pretty damn measured. It was pretty good.
Yeah, he told the media that he saw a lot of fighters do that and gas out, so he wanted to be smart, which makes sense, right? It makes sense, but on the flip side, he probably could have finished Rob Font if he just stayed on him, because he had Rob hurt a couple times, and then just kind of speaking to how like I love his persona. One, because he cusses, and I have a fucking very filthy mouth, so I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And just like his confidence, and man, it was a really great performance.
No, it was beautiful. It was honestly like it was impressive, and now it's like it seems to me like now we're gonna expect this from Chito every time he comes out, and we should. Now in the what I liked about the post, now you mentioned him cussing and all that, but I think my favorite quote in this post-fight interview was when he said he quoted Drake. They were asking him like, "Do you go did you go up to him and say I'd love to train with you, bro?" And stuff. He goes, nah, man, no friends in the industry. And I was like, oh, he brought it. And he smiled or he grinned, whatever, which knows he knew what the hell he was doing. But
no new friends. No new friends.
no new,
Yeah.
no new friends. There you go. So anyway, on the fight itself, Gabriel, just the realization that like Rob Font came out throwing hammers, and Vera kind of just sort of doped him a little bit, and then the later rounds put it on him. Like that is something scary for that bantamweight division to even look for anymore, because a lot of people thought first of all Rob missed weight and everything, but he's a big guy for 35. I thought this was going to be a difference. It didn't matter to Chito.
Yeah, completely. I actually think that it was a bit of that poker face by Chito. Rob was giving him the business. He came out and he was taking it to him, and I was like, I'm sorry, but Chito, you want to win this thing, you're going to have to get it in gear. Full credit to him. That's exactly what he did. I thought that Rob Font, one, looked fantastic again. I think that he showed that, hey, he's also a guy who's a tough out, no matter if you're number 1, number 10, number 8, any given night. And I think that that's what made Chito's performance all the more impressive. I think that he took a lot of shots well. I think that he gave the right body language on top of getting those knockdowns, because, a few times that was probably going to come down close, but I think it's the fact that the way he absorbed them, Chito's obviously in great shape. That's essentially what won it out. And then obviously the fact that he was able to get that serious damage in. But I think once again, it's impressive because of how good Rob Font was at the beginning of each round.
No, it was honestly just every time we come out just firing, and then about halfway through is when Chito would be like, all right, cool, I'm putting it on him now. He took control of the whole thing. Real quick, gonna go through the comments. What's up, Ivan? Hope everything's good. And we got a request for a shout out. There's no problem with it. Jeremiah says it's 3:14 here in Nigeria. Would it be too forward to ask for a 3-second shout out that I can send to my MMA Twitter group chat? I'm not trying to be entitled, please and thank you. No, shout out to you and your boys, man. 3:14 in the morning in Nigeria. Do your thing, boy. Just don't call my phone, please. All right. And then he says Chito won with less than 3 minutes total time. He went in. He went in.
That's right.
There was a stat that Rob Font landed the third most significant strikes behind Max Holloway beating Cater and Max Holloway beating Ortega. It was Rob Font landed the most significant strikes, and he still lost the fight. So it's like, it just kind of comes to that thing where, like, you have to watch the fight, because if you look at the numbers, you would have to think Rob Font won this fight. But if you watch the fight, Chito Vera won the fight.
Now, Alex, is that? No, go ahead, Gabriel. Sorry.
Picture's worth 1,000 words. You show a picture of Rob Font after the fight. It's like you tell me if he looks like he won. It's like, yeah, that's same. Yeah. You had to see. You had to be there.
Yeah.
Jeremiah says if fights were 4 minutes per round, he would win 50-45 easy. Speaking on that, the scoring, it makes you wonder about the scoring, Alex, because like you said, like, if you watch, you have to watch the fight. If you watch the fight, you'd be like, whoa, what the hell? Because if you just look at the numbers, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, for sure. I saw some dude score that gave Chito Vera 3 10-8s for knocking down Rob Font. Just like, bro, what the fuck are you watching, bro?
Yeah, it's people like that. I got grief for saying moving on to our next, little bit of actually, anything else you guys want to say about Chito before we move on?
Yeah, he wants the Aldo fight, Aldo rematch. He also called out somebody on the MMA Hour today. I don't forget what it is, but I'd like to see him fight Corey Sandhagen.
That would be so dope.
I think Dominic Cruz. I really thought they were gonna put Cruz and Aldo together, just the WEC guys, the vets, one last run. But it looks like that's just not gonna happen. So I think Chito Cruz. I just think Aldo feels like, look, I already been through there. I'm not gonna do it again unless the strap is there.
Yeah, at this point. All right, moving on to the co-main event of the evening, and where I got a bit of grief for even saying it. All I did was tweet out, Andre Arlovsky is 43 and still handing young guys L's. And somebody went at me like, come on, bro. Like, what were you watching? Jake Collier won the fight. I'm like, did you see whose hand got raised? Okay. I'm just stating a fact. That being said, Gabriel, I had the fight score for Jake Collier. Collier, whatever, how you say it.
Yeah. I mean, same. That reminds me when people gift that one from Thor Ragnarok when they talk about the who's more effective, the Hulk or Banner, and Banner's just like, well, me, and then Thor's like, is he though? This is it's like Andrei Arlovsky one. It's like, did he though? Look, I mean, tough fight. Obviously, Andre didn't just roll over. And to your point, I mean, at his age, plenty more guys would be getting churned out, through the machine. He's still out here and giving it to a lot of guys. And I did not see it his way. I thought Collier did more stuff that he needed to take enough rounds, but it wasn't a. There have been worse decisions, but yeah, that was certainly one that was like, well, here we go again.
Alex, what did you think of the fight? Who'd you have scored for?
I had Jake Collier clearly winning the fight. I had him winning 1-3. You could argue he won round 2, but I gave round 2 to Andre. So it's just MMA judging is so fucking dog shit. They are ruining the sport. It's fucking gross, And I just wish there was some way for them to be held responsible. Like it's so like at least like tweet something or like tweet like. Come and like see, like tell us what you saw, because it's obvious. Like, what the fuck were you watching? Adam Martin and Marcel brought up a really good point on their podcast earlier today. Like, refs get fucking banished from the sport. Why can't we fucking banish dog shit judges too? Like, Sal D'Amato, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, you suck.
Yeah. Who's the other one? The most, probably the most famous one. Adelaide Bird.
Adelaide Bird.
Get out of here, dude.
Yeah.
How many fights were thrown one way or the other because of Bird, dude?
Chris Lee's another one.
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah. Honestly, I do. It makes me want to look into what it takes to qualify to be a judge at this point. Like, it can't be that hard.
I think it's because it doesn't pay that much. So it's like, look, I mean, if you're not willing to take, time is money, right? If you're not willing to come out there, you can't complain. But look, we can only benefit from having more judges in the pool, plain and simple. And the only way you're going to get experienced judges is if you get people to actively take the time to spend Saturdays, Fridays during the week and judge fights.
It's kind of like they have to overhaul the whole judging system, because it's an old system. Like, it's from boxing. It's just like MMA and boxing are two different sports. Like, how is this sport 30 years old and we're like haven't evolved with the judging? Whatever. All right, I'll get off my fucking soapbox. It's fucking whack.
Here's another old school line for you. It's like having Pat Lumbaugh as judge. Makes no sense, right? Pat Lumbaugh is judge. If you don't know, Google it. All right, it's awful. All right, she's the reason Nick Diaz lost 5 years plus of his career, just straight up. All right. What else? Anything else on this card you guys want to talk about?
I think Alexander Romanov obviously needs to step up. He
wants Johnny Bones.
Slow your roll, bro. Slow your fucking roll. Slow down, bro. Slow down.
I was like, did he really get caught on camera saying that? Because it was, I mean, you know what? You gotta have dreams in life.
Yeah, just slow down, bro. Like, I like your Augusto Sakai call out. That's fine. Maybe Marcin Tybura. But if you look at that top 15, he beats a lot of those guys.
Oh.
And then other than that, Joe Anderson Brito starching Andre Fili. I did not see that one coming.
I'm still bummed out for Andre, right? But I was super bummed out for Andre. And then Brito talked about how they had told him that morning that his uncle had passed away, and my heart broke. I'm like, oh, bro, that thing's rough. So, and other fights on there besides Jonathan Brito, the Andre Fili fight, Grant Dawson did really well. That was cool. And then Darren Elkins didn't bleed as much as I thought he would. That's kind of the other takeaway I have. So, all right, boys. So Alex actually watched PFL too. So that's good. At least one of us did. And that, from what I took, and I did watch, I guess as highlights as you can get with the Palmer fight. Lance Palmer, I don't know what they expected with that dude in there. Did they think he was gonna like throw hands with somebody like that? I didn't.
I mean, I always felt like the biggest thing about Lance when they talk about, oh, well, why doesn't he this or that? It's like, if you're a Lance Palmer, why in the world would you want to even try to fight somewhere else? Like, you're odds-on favorite to take $1 million, and respectfully, he's not a guy who's going to go out there and you'd think is $1 million contract fighter in a UFC or Bellator. But yeah, to your point, it's about the credentials, right? It's about the MMA. Well, he went out there and did what he does. And I think it was great to see him back on track. Obviously, last season, when you've won 2 straight tournaments, gone undefeated, to get back to this point, it's like, oh, well, I mean, it's just good to see that you're still rolling along and trying to do your thing.
Mm-hmm. There you go, Alex.
It's crazy how Lance Palmer, I don't know if he just hasn't evolved, and just the fighters just are getting better and better and better, and so his like grapple heavy wrestling approach just isn't as dominant as it once was. Because man, if you look, he's a 2-time champion and he hasn't really looked good his last 2 fights. And granted, last year he was going through a lot of things, but he said this was one of his best training camps. He went back to Extreme Couture. I saw him training there. He looked good. And Chris, I don't know if it's him going back in skill wise, or Chris Wade is just super fucking good, because Chris Wade is the one that's really shown how good he is, and he might be the favorite going into it since Mobley is out of this year's tournament. So it's either him or Brendan.
Pretty much, yeah. And then you were talking about, before we started the show, you talked about another fight on there, some giant Brazilian dude.
So
Renan Ferreira.
Yeah, bro, that dude 6'8", and he is a scary human being. There are a few MMA fighters that are like terrifying to me. This dude's terrifying. Him, Thiago Santos. Whoo, that dude was scary. But this 6'8" gigantor, man, it's him versus Bruno Capoloza. Like, that's the fight. Hopefully it happens in the finals, but I could see them maybe fighting during the regular season. But man, yeah, that's the fight.
There you go. So yeah, I'm trying to find the highlight of it on Twitter so I can.
I think ESPN MMA might have it.
Hold up a second. I just got a clip of him doing a backflip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it did.
Okay, I found it. Hold up. All right, I'll put this up. PFL actually put it up. That he's just an angry. This guy went through some shit when he was growing up, because he is like, this is for you, Dad. Like, fucking him up, bro. Like, let's see if this works. Oh, it's not letting me do it. All right, sorry. I'm gonna have to find another way to do it. He threw hands on this dude. Anyway,
I gotta say, I've seen him live against another tall dude. Like, he is. I'm actually surprised he hasn't made more noise sooner, because really? I've seen him light someone up in person, and it was brutal. And it's like, dude, like, this is not a new thing for him.
Okay, let's see if this works now. You guys see it?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
I do.
It's gonna start over here in a second. Give it a second, folks. Here we go. Bow. Little front kick, knee, and then just taking out his aggression from all the years of his parents. I don't know his parents. I'm joking. I'm not gonna say that joke. All right, I'm not gonna put that out there. That giant ass motherfucker come look for me. Anyway,
when you're that tall, you don't need to fly for the knee. It's just
no. He literally just like lifted his leg up like he was gonna put a shoe on. He's like, okay, boom. Oh, you're down. All right. Like, that was wild. I haven't said I watched it, unfortunately.
Pacing's still hurting. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of these events would be a lot more. We already know PFL has that struggle to compete in the landscape, but when you're like, okay, tune in live, and it's just, you're not gonna keep as many people when everyone can screen it or just change the channel.
Thank God they're working on it. They admitted. So I asked all the way up the fucking ladder. All the high ups. I said, like, what the fuck happened with the championships? And they told me, they're like, yeah, we fucked up. We heard all of the criticisms. We heard the fans, and we're working on it. And I think PFL won. They last week, not the first week.
Yeah.
I think they really handled it really well. It's just last week the fights weren't as exciting as the first week, so it seemed like it slogged.
Yeah, no, and UFC was the same way this weekend. I mean, it was, it was great. We had finishes; it was awesome. But then it was like a finish in the first round, and 30 minutes later was the next fight. Like,
and then late cancellation hurt them too. So it's like,
yeah, that one.
I mean, you're gonna get that in the prelims, but certainly when you get to that main card, that the prime time of the show, I feel like that's one where it's like, hey, what you need to churn out, especially if it's on Plus. There's no need for like, hey, we got to worry about this and programming. Right. No, just get it rolling and get through it.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you just going to, hey, this fight's coming up. This is your warning. You're on deck. It might be 30 minutes. It might be 5. Let's just go. Yeah. I mean, I would love for that to happen, but they love that pacing for the network stuff. For some reason. I haven't asked. Did you guys watch Uriah Faber's MMA event? I heard about it. No. Did you guys watch it?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. The commentary is kind of lackluster.
That's what he's talking about. The bodybuilder commentator was out of pocket the entire event.
Yeah. It was pretty bad. The lighting was pretty bad, but it was their first event, so I give them a pass. Yeah, whatever.
I also think part of those is budget too on production. I mean, it's just like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Uriah doesn't have deep pockets after a Hall of Fame career, but the UFC production, there's a reason there's so many dollars in it. It's a whole machine, and there's just tiers to it.
Yeah, no, 100%. Now, if you guys had to pick, you guys have both been to UFC and Bellator events. Who does it better? Because, like, as far as in arena production, I really enjoy Bellator product, like in person. Like, I like UFC and everything is great, but the Bellator one, for some reason, it's almost like a party atmosphere at times. Alex, what do you think is better?
I have to give it to the UFC. Just it's an experience. Like that's what Dana White has always said. That's like his number one thing is like when you come to a UFC show, a show is going to be put on, and they do. They put on a fantastic show. It's like you get goosebumps from being in there, and it's crazy. Like before I started covering the fights, like I didn't go to any fights just because like it's cheaper to watch from home, and unless you're like sitting somewhere you can watch the fights, like I'd rather watch it on my TV. But I must say, if you've never been to a UFC fight, you have to go at least once just to fucking feel the energy in there.
I think there's a lot of other little factors. I think sometimes, we get a little caught up, no matter how much you cover it, the hype of the UFC event and the UFC roster. Like, I've seen it. I was there with Alex when Brian Ortega came out with the Purged walkout.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I literally felt like the chills, like, dude, is something going to happen to me? It was very epic. Had to be there. I know it looked cool on TV. No, you had to be there. And I've been there for Bellator to see Fedor walk out in person with the whole platform and all that. And it's, Bellator does have a fantastic show. I think, though, to Alex's point, I think that the experience of, hey, it's a top to bottom show when you're at a big UFC pay-per-view. Because let's be honest, Bellator, most all of them have all the bells and whistles. Sometimes you'll have someone do something, live performer for the walkout. UFC, like Bellator, it's always the same. UFC, a really special walkout is only going to happen at a pay-per-view. Right. Like Chito Vera and all that, hype, the lights, the colors. The whole bells and whistles don't happen every time, even if they are not at UFC Apex and it's a fight night somewhere else.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And the crowd also adds to it as well. Now that you mentioned that too, like Kane walking out here, even he got knocked the hell out by Ngannou in like no time, but him walking out here among just a heavy, Latino crowd, that it was deafening when he walked out here. But the year before that, Yair Rodriguez walking out, unfortunately beat the shit out of BJ Penn, but Yair Rodriguez walking out, the place was exploding. Nate Diaz at 263. But my favorite, and again, he's my favorite fighter ever, Nick Diaz walking out at 266. I don't care what you thought of the performance. I don't give two shits. To watch that man walk out. Dude, I was there as a fan. All right, I was there. It was my wife got me, bless her. That was my bachelor party because I didn't really care to get hammered anymore. I'm a little too old for that shit. But she gave me those tickets, and so me and my buddy went, and just sitting in the crowd was just like, it was weird. Like you could tell, like everyone was in it together. Like we were all here to watch Nick Diaz. It doesn't matter how it goes. We're here to watch Nick. So that was dope. But you're absolutely right on that point. I just, I guess because I've only been to a handful of Bellators, and I like the presentation, the lights, and all that. But you're right, the experience is way different at a UFC event.
And also, I don't know, like for example, I've been to the smaller Bellator shows, like the reservation ones and all that. It is not the same as a championship fight at the Forum, even though it's arguably a similar card at times. And so, yeah, it's just a different vibe. But certainly, I think you have to experience both and to really get it. And you know what gets you hyped up. And I think UFC and Bellator both identify that for their not just audience, but what they have available.
Right. At UFC 270 in January, when Brandon Moreno walked out, it was wild. It was wild, man. And yeah, and then I was gonna say, with the UFC going back on the road, it's gonna be bigger and bigger. I do know, per sources, they are looking at going to China in November.
Alex, you need to tweet this before you say it, because we went through this last week. You can't just say it anymore. If you have not tweeted it before the show, it does not work.
You said that. What did you break? You said
the Jones Stipe September buzz.
You said that, and within seconds, what pages were popping that shit out there. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? And like, I didn't really know.
Hey, where are you guys when we were doing our other stuff? Leaving comments, sharing. Come on now.
Real. God damn.
Well, see, the thing is I want people to come to Cageside Live. You know what I'm saying? So,
yes, but we also want the credit.
There you go.
You gotta drop Richard Schaefer's name like the other guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That is true.
Look, it's a catch-22. When people ask, no offense, some of the other people, they have a little more leash to drop names.
Yeah.
Smaller websites, for all the people watching and you wonder, why don't we do this and that? It's called building rapport. And sometimes if we give up too much stuff, they're like, no, you're not talking to me to talk to me. You're talking to me for me to give you dirt. And it's like, it's a whole etiquette thing. So, Alex, I know you know who your source is. I'm not going to ask you to name him, but it's probably somebody that you don't want to, like, hey, just put him out there. And then suddenly, hey, why are you telling these guys this? Why can't you wait to tell one of the guys with the big E on their microphone and we get the whole press release and the video? I get it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So after all that, they are looking to go back to China in November. Don't know if it's going to happen because COVID. But yeah, that's in the plans.
China has that no COVID policy. That's some scary shit, dude. Yeah. All right. Moving on here. Let's get to some comments real fast. Lou, what's going on, bro? Hope you're doing good. Tank, the running joke. Tank thinks Usman is juicing, and fair enough. But he shows up to every Keyboard Warriors podcast, and he's so goddamn consistent. He's the most consistent person besides Otis, who's also in the comments. Most consistent guy. He always shows up with the little needles and shit. I'm like, all right, I don't think he's juicing, but I respect your game, sir. All right. Otis, what's going on? Dude, asking, is anyone giving Ferguson a chance against Chandler? We will talk about that here in a quick second, and that'll take us to the rest of our comments here. So we'll talk about that here in a second. But anything else before we head after UFC 274?
No, man. No? You're driving the car. You're taking us to the backyard. Let's go.
Perfect. Let's do it. UFC 274 from Phoenix, Arizona, my backyard, down the street. Everything kicks off on Wednesday for Media Day. Make sure you go to CagesidePress.com for all of your coverage on that. Title fight, man. Main event, Charles Oliveira against Justin Gaethje. That is for obviously the lightweight scrap. There's a lot of people, Gabriel, that watched Oliveira's last few fights, but more importantly, saw Dustin Poirier drop Charles Oliveira. Still lose, but he dropped Charles Oliveira. And we're looking at Justin Gaethje like, this is the guy. Do you agree with that?
I think that's very fair. I think that the way that they implement a lot of the similar weapons, I mean, Poirier's got heavy hands, Gaethje's got heavy hands, Poirier's got a good gas tank, Gaethje has a good gas tank. I think that the biggest way to describe it is Gaethje is so efficient at this stage of his career, and he's got all the same qualities. If you bang with him, he will throw it right back at you. He still could do that damage. If he's got that opening, he's going to come at you to try to get you out of there with that pressure. But his shot selection is just on another level. I think that Poirier, I just feel like he might have had a bit of an adrenaline dump out there. It just seemed like it was going well until it wasn't. I think just the way that Gaethje conserves his energy across a 15 to 25 minute fight is going to be the real key. Yes, he's got the wrestling and all that, but I think that it's just the fact that he is going to pick his spots differently compared to Dustin. That's what makes him such a dangerous guy to end that impressive win streak of Charles Oliveira.
And there's something to it. Watching, I rewatched the Poirier fight, and I know at one point Dustin Poirier ends up on his back with Charles Oliveira in his guard, and he did the body triangle on him from bottom. In jiu-jitsu, you don't want to do that. You want this dude off, make space, get out of there. But the argument that Dean Thomas.
Yes.
Dean Thomas. The point that Dean Thomas made was that Poirier didn't want to allow Charles Oliveira to advance. I don't think Gaethje's going to be that way. I think Gaethje's going to be like, no, let's go. I want that smoke. I can wrestle. Let's go. So
I think scramble. I think Gaethje's just going to be so much more comfortable scrambling if they get into that kind of position.
Mm-hmm. The other big weapon here, Alex, that everyone speaks with Gaethje, those damn leg kicks, man. That dude throws. I don't even know. I can't even call them hammers. I don't know what you call it. Baseball bats. Maybe better than that. I don't know. But you don't want to take a leg kick from Gaethje, man. And Charles Oliveira taking too many of those can mess him up big time.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's definitely a weapon. Gaethje has knockout power. Once he has you hurt, he goes after you. It's like a shark seeing blood. Man, it's such a good fight. It's such a there's so many variables that can happen. And it's crazy because like I've picked against Charles Oliveira, I think his last 2 fights.
Yeah.
And just because I'm like, I don't know, like I think just the guys are other guys, and he's proved me wrong. So I'm like, do I test fate again? Because I think Charles Oliveira, dude, he is so fucking good. Good everywhere. I don't know. I'm still fucking flip flopping, bro.
Yeah, I don't know who to pick either, but in the comment section they're going off. Otis says if Oliveira decides to stand with Gaethje, we're gonna have a new lightweight champion. That's very possible. Very possible. Tank thinks Gaethje gets a strap. And let's see what else we got. My heart says Charles. My brain says Justin. There you go. You have to pick what to bet with. Your heart or your brain. Trevor Whitman, parlay, always a good idea. Trevor Whitman, dude. There's so many good coaches now. Trevor Whitman, James Krause. There's so many good ones.
Nick Sick, Brown.
Brown's a good one.
Perillo.
Yeah, and then somehow for us, Ahab just kind of disappeared.
I think it's just about having the guys at the right time. Like Greg Jackson, he's still good, but it's just one of those lulls. It's transition, right?
Yeah. No, it's wild with that. Gaethje only needs one of those right hands to win the fight. Oliveira, for some reason, wants to stand with these guys now. Oof. Yeah, I don't know about that. And then last one here from Lewis is, what do you guys think the submission prop for Charles Olives will be? Also, what do you think the KO TKO prop will be for Justin? I don't bet. What do you guys think?
I think it'll be a triangle, to be honest, if Charles gets him. I almost feel like he might even he'll get it off the back, which hardly happens anymore, but I just feel like that's what's going to happen. And then, the left hook, for some reason, if Gaethje gets it, it's just going to be another one of those, slip, counter with it, kabam.
There you go. What do you think, Alex?
I was trying to find the props, but I don't have enough time. It's got to be. Submission prop probably like a minus 200 for a submission prop, and a knockout prop is a minus 150. I don't fucking know. California, it's illegal to gamble in California, so I haven't really gotten into sports gambling.
Arizona just started that stuff. Arizona bid into it. At the Suns Arena, they built a whole FanDuel. I think it was FanDuel or whatever. They have a whole thing for it now. So they're going like wild. Let's go. Oliveira can get rear naked or another one of those his slick leg locks. Again, I would never want to roll with Oliveira if I'm a professional fighter and I'm fighting him. I keep it standing as long as possible. All right. Moving on. Co-main event of the evening: the strawweight strap taking being defended by Rosemary Muniz against Carla Esparza. That fought before. Right out of the tough gates, Carla won the strap. She was champion. Very quickly. My favorite thing about this fight is that Carla Esparza, and I'm not a big fan of Carla Esparza, but Carla Esparza is playing a dangerous game here. She fights this Saturday against Rosemary Muniz, who's a really good striker, and she gets married a week later. Okay, like as a man, I wasn't allowed to spar or do jiu-jitsu, like hardwood jiu-jitsu for at least 3 weeks before I got married, right? This last January or December. But I know if I showed up with a black eye, it'd be different than if my wife showed up with a black eye. So this is she playing dangerous. But Gabriel,
Sarah Alpar.
Yes.
Sarah Alpar got married a week after Jessie Jess, and she showed up to her wedding with a broken nose and a broken orbital bone.
I haven't seen the pictures yet, but thank God for Photoshop. But yeah, Gabriel, we saw the first fight go down. A lot of wrestle heavy from Carla, a lot of control, and a very, very, very young. Hold the jokes, folks. A very young Rosa Mayunas. Yeah, Alex knows what I'm talking about. What do you think this fight looks like? I mean, it's got to be way different, but what do you think it looks like?
I think honestly, you're going to see Carla have to take a lot of risks. I think the fact is that her ability to close that distance, that height, and that reach, that was a lot easier when Rose, just quite frankly, was not as great as she is now, was not as good at her striking as she is now. She's with a great tactician in Trevor Whitman. She's at a team that I'm sure they are ready to sprawl and brawl, stick and move, keep her at the end of those shots. And yes, Carla is very good at a lot of these things, but one of the things that makes her Joanna difficult is that they are so technical, but also so tall and long that, it's just a fight to get there. And then you have to implement your game plan if you want to grapple, if you want to try to do all this, because they're ready to, try to pummel against the fence, get out of there, break, make space, all that stuff. And that's why it's such an uphill battle for Carla. That being said, look, I think that she knows exactly what she's got to do. There's a lot of good things. We've seen it. People get in on John Jones. People get in on a lot of these rangy men and women. You got to stay active. You got to move a lot, feint a lot, and you got to accept that there's going to be a few times you're going to have to step into the fire. But look, it's very obvious why it's an uphill battle for Carla. And that's just very fair when you consider how Rose has been performing.
What do you think there, Alex? Do you think Carla's able to close the distance, or do you think, do you think she's able to actually do that? Carla has the same game plan for everybody: get close, punch your way in, grapple, take down, grind. What do you think?
I think Rose Namajunas is the best strawweight on the planet. I kind of feel like Carla Esparza is going to pull the upset and get it done. I do. I have it. Like I just kind of have a feeling that she's gonna. It might be a boring 5-round slog, but I have a feeling that Carla Esparza is gonna get it done for some reason.
Don't ruin my night, bro. Come on now. I've been a Thug Rose fan since she pulled off that flying triangle. I want to say it was an Invicta. Man,
I remember that one. That was cool.
That was so slick. Honestly, that and watching Nick and Nate roll and then BJ Penn get a black belt in like 3 years, like a real black belt, not like the ones these days where guys are just getting handed fucking belts, okay? Like a real black belt in 3 years and jumping out of the pool like a psycho. That made me start training jiu-jitsu. So I'm a Rose fan. So we respect the game, man. If Carla Esparza wins it, all props to her.
One thing I will say, I think that she's one of those rare people. Oh, she's so fantastic when she's standing up. Yes. She's got her game off of her back, but that transition with the wrestling, I think that's just the biggest thing. She's ready to defend takedowns, but using it offensively to get you down, or we haven't seen her against a really strong wrestler like this in a minute, right? Jessica Andrade, even she kind of was looking to bang with her from the rematch onward. So it's been a minute, 2019, since Jessica Andrade really tried to wrestle her. So yep. I think that's a big thing. And also Carla is just a different grappler in total compared to Andrade. So
100%. And in the comments here, everyone's going off on Esparza and Rose. Jeremiah, straight from at 3 a.m. She's barely awake right now, probably. Last time Esparza won, Oliveira was the main event. Deja vu. Rose was the main event, but Oliveira was the co-main event. He beat Jeremy Stevens by decision on that one.
oh,
So that was that Deja vu would be kind of wild if that happened. What's up? Oh, Albert. Oh, I know what you're doing. You're watching us and the Suns game. Cookie Monster and Thug rematch, I guess. And Oliveira headlined their first fight. That's cool. Oh, did Oliveira headline that one? I thought it was Rose Esparza.
For a tough finale, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'd have to look back. Yeah.
Okay. I want to say Rose and Carla were the main event, but you guys might be right. All right. Yeah. Lou says, how dope would it be if Carla Esparza beats Rose and shows up to her wedding the next weekend with a beautiful shiner and the strawweight title? I mean, come on, that's picture perfect.
She did talk about it that all the people who are coming to her wedding know she's having a title fight, so it's not like people are going to be like, what were you doing a week before the wedding? Everybody knows. Everybody's probably going to be at the fight who's at the wedding.
There you go, yeah. I don't know where she's getting married, but that's a good point. They're probably going to be there. Fighters are crazy, man. I think everyone's sleeping on Carla's stand-up. I'm going to disagree with you on that one, but who knows? She might get crazy. She might.
I think she's gotten a lot better. She's gotten better at being more effective with it, not just for her wrestling, but when she's found moments where she can't get you down and has to survive those exchanges. But it's just not when you see what Rose could do, it's just not the same level.
Yeah. Fucking Tank. He got my joke. Never bet against Pat Barry. Yep. It's what it is. We're not going to go into that joke any further. Esparza has a ground and pound, 100%. Ground and pound. All right. What else we got here? Jesus. Carla has to channel her Colby. Fight dirty, faint, maybe get dropped, but she has an advantage. She's going to have to do something different than last time, I'll say that much.
That's a great comparison.
Right. What else we got? Okay.
Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chandler, bro.
We do. I'm actually looking for those comments. Go ahead.
I think Tony Ferguson's going to beat Michael Chandler.
Oh, I hope so badly that you're right. I want to talk to Tony in 3 wins. That's what I want.
I think if Tony can survive Michael Chandler's 5 minutes of just fucking
Tyson
blitzing fury shit, I think Tony Ferguson will outpoint him and beat him, slice him up.
He probably fought cows in this camp. His training methods are so dope, but I would never do them. Like he kicks like metal poles and shit. It's kind of wild there. But Gabriel, let's look at the Michael Chandler side. What does he have to do to win?
Be himself. I think he's just such a Alex, you're throwing me off, man. Stop it. Anyway, no, he's such a, when you think about, for example, an Anthony Pettis compared to a Rafael Dos Anjos, that conventional stance, conventional attack, just be yourself, high guard, and just be efficient. Don't try to go out there, run him over. You got your wrestling. You've got the power in your hands. Don't just try to make something happen for the sake of the fans. Just pick your spots, mix it up, and you've got 2 weapons that I think we've seen Tony struggle to deal with. The power. When he was on his long win streak, there were very few guys with that one-shot stopping power like Chandler has. And then secondly, the wrestling. We saw what Charles Oliveira was able to do. Stay disciplined, but get on top of Tony. Beneil Dariush, similar thing. Those are 2 weapons that should give Tony more than enough problems. That being said, obviously, if Tony gets going, Tony's not there for Chandler, then we're talking about a very different fight. But the X factor is, can he put that together when we haven't seen him come close to that level in recent fights? Part of that is the level of opposition. But, look, we've said it. He's one of the vets of the lightweight division. He's been at it a long time. He's got the mileage. It is on him to recapture some of that magic if he's going to beat a stylistic nightmare like Chandler for him.
And definitely a stylistic nightmare there. I mean, Chandler's got so many different weapons that he could use, but Alex, going back to your point of the 5 minutes I call it 5 minutes of Tyson. He does it every fight, right? Like he comes out, just sits on his punches. You could almost see his abs explode. It's how hard he's trying to screw his feet into the freaking canvas to throw hands. So what exactly do you think that Tony Ferguson's going to bring that's going to end up, besides the slicing elbows and everything and maybe catching him on the way in, what else do you think Tony Ferguson could do in order to stop the Chandler Tyson train?
Just his Tony Ferguson isms. Throw sand, his spinning shit.
Yeah.
I mean, Imanari roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if we're just looking at it, like, realistically, Michael Chandler should walk through Tony Ferguson, and I understand that's a high probability that it could happen, and that Tony Ferguson is just, after all of the wars he's been in, the mileage, the damage is caught up to him. I don't know. I just feel it, bro. I just feel like he's gonna pull this one out. I just do. Like, he's still a fucking dog, bro. Mm-hmm. And he more than anything, I think, like, he was embarrassed his last 3 fights, and he's kind of alluded to it through his fucking emoji tweets and shit. But I think he has all the skills to beat Michael Chandler. The thing is if Michael Chandler uses his wrestling, then I might just kind of lean towards Michael Chandler. But I have a feeling that Michael Chandler is here for like you said, he's not here for a long time. He's here for a good time, bro. He's gonna stand and bang with Tony Ferguson. He's gonna happen. I don't believe he's gonna fucking wrestle.
That'd be wild.
Eddie, I'm going to send a pizza to your house if you ask Michael Chandler at Media Day, are you here for a long interview or are you here for a good interview?
Yeah, I bet. Fucking bet.
Where if I hear you get that out there, I will call Pizza Hut in Arizona and I will... We're not going to put it out here. We're going to DM everybody.
Yeah.
I will make sure you get a large to your house if you say that in front of everybody.
I will try it. Media days on Wednesday. I'm on that shit, man. Look, hey, you know how it is. You guys have been in media days and stuff, for pay-per-views and everything. All the same questions get asked, and by the time they get to you, you got to come up with some shit. So it's like
that's why you just have fun.
Yeah,
honestly, it's like I don't even. Okay, like people ask me. Yeah, I gave up on writing a lot of stuff because when you've had to follow, the John Morgans and there's like a triumvirate every event. It's like I just spent an hour thinking of some stuff and they already asked it in the first 10 minutes. So it's like, well, I did my prep work. I'll say what comes to me when my number's up.
Exactly. People are asking me the same shit because like for fight nights, I'll write something up. For pay-per-views, I don't even bother because there's so much media there. And just like you said, there's like the 3 or 4 guys that always get all the same questions off before we do. So, is what it is. Quickly through the comment section. Is anyone giving Ferguson a chance against Chandler? Everybody sounds like they are. At least a chance, but Alex is all in on it. I haven't said I give him a 30% chance. What else have we got? I'm not even looking at the score, Albert. All right, I will check the score near the end of the game.
As you read comments, I'm gonna say I guess I tweeted it. I'm like one of 9 people excited for Shogun to fight this weekend.
You're literally one of 9 people on the planet. Okay, why the hell are we doing this to this man? Let him live,
bro.
Let him live.
Obviously, if he wanted to retire, he would have retired. He wants to fucking fight. He wants to beat OSP. OSP is very fucking beatable. OSP, he lost the OSP by a skateboard last time, so it's only fair. So I don't give a shit, bro. Shogun could fight my brother's nephew's fucking cousin, and I'm gonna watch it. I don't give a shit. Shogun's fighting. I'm happy. I don't give a shit.
Who beats OSP? I swear, if OSP, he's got the Von Flu. He got the Von Flu choke. I will be so depressed.
Although, all right, and I am kind of eating my words because when Shogun tapped to strikes against Paul Craig, I was like, oh fuck, like this is the end.
Over.
Like Shogun doesn't tap to strikes, like he goes out. But it's been 2 years. He obviously wanted to fight.
Right.
He's fighting OSP, who's the most inconsistent dude on the planet.
That's true.
Shogun. War Shogun, bro. War Shogun.
War Shogun.
Cowboy and Joe Lozon. By the way, is this Joe Lozon's last one? Like, has he said it?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
They've both First of all, I'm so fucking happy that they moved this fight from last week.
Seriously,
yes, they're gonna go
because if this is their last fight, it has to be in front of a sold out crowd. It'd be. We saw so many legends retire in 2020 without a full. Like we saw Anderson Silva retire without a crowd. We saw Daniel Cormier retire without a crowd. Like it's just
Real.
like like it shit's whack. So yeah, Cowboy Cowboy retiring without a crowd would have been a fucking sin against the MMA god. So
I think they got it right because when he got the booking with Diego Sanchez is like, this is as perfect as it could get in UFC for both of them. Short of pulling like some CM Punk, Mike Jackson matchmaking, it's like, oh, well, and then the stuff with Diego happened, et cetera, et cetera. And then they pull out Joe Lozon, and I'm like, bro, UFC made it happen. This is perfect. And look, I mean, it's so tough. Like, who doesn't like when Cowboy gets out there and tries to bring it? I know it hasn't gone his way, but I'm just I'm glad that the UFC has said, look, we know that if we keep giving you names, you're gonna say yes, but we just can't keep doing it for our own business and our own, we just can't keep doing it with our roster right now. You know what I mean? For Cowboy. And look, and that's fine. He's had so many fights. Like, he has more fights than Michael Bisping, and Michael Bisping had like 4 years on him in UFC, something like that. That should tell you just about everything you need to know about how often and how exciting he is when he's out there. And Joe Lawson, if you know, if you were, pre-Rousey, pre-McGregor era fan, you know that he's been around for so long and he's had so many, won some, lost some, had plenty of moments where he just pulled off the upset, and it's going to be good to see him.
There you go. Albert asking where Chris P is. Chris Prozik just got back into town from mini vacation, so he's not going to be here tonight, but I'm sure he'll be back next week.
He's eating dinner.
He's eating dinner. He should be. It's 11. He should be asleep. It's 11 in his town. Cowboy gets tapped by Lozon. Very possible. You never know. This guy Albert. So Albert asked, where you sitting at the fight? Said me and the boy want to get a pic with you. I will make it happen, but my ass is going to be sitting in the media room for most of the night. But I promise I will make it happen. DM me on Twitter, and we'll make it happen, dude. Before or after the fights, or if I can sneak out somehow during, I'll find a way. All right. Oh shoot, where I was gonna go with this shit? Oh yeah, okay. Real quick, one question because we're running out of time here. I don't want to jump over 274. It's gonna be sick card, but I'm really worried about Darren Till versus Jack Hermanson. As a Till and Hamzat fan, what chances do you give Till in this matchup? I'll go first so you guys can think about it here for a second. Jack Hermanson lost recently, and it was a fight I thought he should have won. I can't remember who it was, but I think Darren Strickland jabbed him and jabbed him and jabbed him and jabbed him. Right? I think Till should just work that game plan. Why not? It worked with Strickland, so he's got a chance. But I don't see him. I don't think I see him beating him. I honestly think Darren Till is. I hate to say a fighter's done. You know what I mean? Like I hate to say like, oh, you should go away and retire. I'll never say a guy should retire unless they look like a Chuck versus Tito 3 or whatever that was for, whatever the Golden Boy card was, and damn sure to retire. But I think Darren Till, I think his best days are behind him. And
he's 29 years old, bro. He's 29 years old.
Dude, but come on, when's the last time we saw him do some crazy shit? Like when he first got in here, he was the next big thing, and now he's Hamzat's boy.
He is, but look at who he's lost to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, that's a good point.
Let's chill.
Okay, good point.
I think that he could still make a lot of stuff happen. I think that this is going to be, even if he loses to Jack, I need to see improvement in his grappling. Because if anything, okay, so you defend a few, Jack still grinds it out, okay, but at a certain point, it's going to feel like, well, are you able to get to the level you still need to while you're here in the short term? Mm-hmm. And look, it's never a straight line upward, so I think that's just it. I think Darren Till's physicality and on the feet, he provides plenty of problems for Jack, and I think with the size too, but I think when you talk about the grappling of Hermanson and he can take care of himself on the feet. Sure. That's where it is. You need to see that all those. I need to know that those sessions with Hamzat paid off.
That
plain and simple.
That is the perfect way to put it. a little bit of Hamza off on Darren Till. Let's hope. All right. By the way, they had some dope ass videos together. I don't know who does those, but they're great.
I want to see the one where they did like Hamzat on the opposite side of the road with Bisping.
Yeah.
I mean that. Come on, let's break TikTok. Something.
Break TikTok. Oh, this guy. Those 80 law guy. I don't like him. JK. I appreciate you. Anyway. Yeah, he's got to change. You never know. What was I gonna say? Okay, real quick, because we want to talk about this. We were all kind of laughing about this in the chat a little bit in the Slack. What in the hell is this? Right here. You have the first. It's not the first. I want to say it's not the first, but you have a card in Singapore, a UFC pay-per-view in Singapore, headlined. I mean, there's 2 title fights on here and a rematch of one of the sickest fights we've seen in a long time. And this is the poster you came out with? Like, bro, we were all laughing about this shit in the Slack. Come on now. This is awful.
It's fucking bad. I don't know what the fuck they were going for, to be honest. Like, they're going for
it's got the Brady Bunch feel, right? Like they're not all looking right at the like into the camera. I just think that I have sympathy for them. They have how many cards a year? How many cards a month? Event every week? You're not gonna have the sickest poster every single time.
But there's so many talented people out there. Just fucking freelance them, just like, I don't know. Sorry for interrupting.
I guess they felt like, you know what, like we're gonna just try anything new, and look, that's their prerogative. I will say, like, I mean, let me ask you a question. If they had like another like generic one where it's just like, well, you remember the original one they had for Oliveira and Poirier, where it's just like the 3 faces in a line?
Yeah.
Would you have preferred something like that? And it's like, we definitely literally just saw that isn't the most, let's say, creative, unusual one we've seen. Would you prefer something like that, even though we just saw it, compared to this one? I guess I'll ask that question.
Go ahead, Alex.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's...
Dude, when a guy like Boss Logic exists and you're still training shit out like this, if you don't know Boss Logic, first of all, I don't know how you're on MMA Twitter or anything like that, but find this man. And second, he would have killed this poster easily.
Boss Logic making that Marvel money now, though. He doesn't,
But it's like,
for that guy.
Yes. There are talented people that would do these posters for fucking peanuts just to get their name, just to get their name out there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just like, dude, like, fucking real, dude. This is such a sick card, and you give us this bullshit.
Yeah, no, 100%, you're right on that. Jeremiah's ADHD poster. Ivan says that poster gave me a seizure. Yeah, dude, we're all over the place with this one. All right, and then so PFL Friday, Bellator 280 Friday, France. Ryan Bader, Czech Congo for the heavyweight belt. That fight, they made that fight in the cage here in Phoenix after Ryan Bader won that fight. Won his fight.
Fuck.
I know, but Czech Congo's giant ass comes in there and they stare each other down, and I'm like, have we not seen this already? We've seen this, right? Like, we know what's gonna happen, right? Why are we making this fight again? Ryan Bader looks more surprised than anybody. Like in the post fight, like they asked him about it. Hey, were you surprised about that? He's like, oh, kind of. Like, I don't, I almost sounded like he didn't want to fucking do that fight, but Bellator going to Bellator, I guess.
Yoel Romero's fighting, and no one knows.
Yeah, what happened to Melvin?
He heard him say, like, I guess stopping a robber or something. Like, I don't know if it was a car or something. I know it was like, I thought it's like, are you sure you're not reading an Anthony Smith headline? It's like, no, I mean, hey, this was his retirement fight. One, kind of like the Kevin Holland thing. I mean, thank you for being the Great Samaritan, but it's like, oh man, how did that happen? I that's the thing with Yoel Romero. I think if there's one thing in hindsight, they should have just gone straight Romero Musasi 185.
Hell yeah.
And just and look, I get it. Sometimes Bellator, if your name's not Chris Cyborg, even if you're a big free agent, they want to let it simmer before you pop it. I feel like that one is like, we're not seeing what we want to see out of when we were hyped up for Yoel Romero to go to Bellator. and that's just plain and simple.
Yeah, no, you're right. And then Anthony Johnson was supposed to be in there too. So I don't know what happened to that. Did they ever reveal what his health issue was?
They've kept it under wraps.
Okay, so it
But
wasn't.
all I know, they asked. Okay, like it was mid year last year when he pulled out. Like in January, they asked, and they're like, "Yeah, we're still not.
Gotcha.
We don't have like a schedule for that." PFL though, they are bringing it. I mean, you got obviously Kayla, Ray, Rory, Julia Budd should be on that card. Everyone's going. Yeah, it's going to be another good one for PFL. I hope they pace it well.
Yeah.
That's just it.
Yeah, if you want to watch something on Friday night, I'm not going against Bellator. But if you want to watch something on Friday night, I suggest PFL.
They shouldn't overlap.
They
the
shouldn't.
schedule, they won't.
Right. It'll be
Or like early on, but Bellator should be way over before the meat and potatoes of PFL.
Bellator's gonna be super early, right?
And
One Pacific main card.
There you go.
And then before we get out of here, the rest of the UFC 270 card, we got Andre Fialho. He's making a quick return. Chaos Williams or Randy Brown, banger. Someone's going to sleep in that one.
Yep.
Brandon Royval, he's fighting in front of a crowd for the first time in his UFC career. Got the return of Blagoy Ivanov, the best chin in all of mixed martial arts. Tracy Cortez versus Melissa Gatto should be good. Journey Newsom versus Fernie Garcia, which is going to be a banger that kicks off the card. Fernie's making his UFC debut, and then Lupi Godinez is returning.
Journey. Yeah, if it wasn't for a failed marijuana test with Journey would have gotten that one hitter quitter that he got against I forgot the fellow's name, but that was a nasty Garcia. I think it was a nasty fight. And then all you have to tell me about this card, you don't need to tell me the first 3 fights. Just tell me Tracy Cortez is fighting, and I'm just sit there and watch. Like, all right, cool. So please, I want to talk to her. I tell it, win your fight, please, Tracy. I just want to profess my love. My wife's not hearing me.
Brian, is Brian Ortega hanging out with your wife too? Just listening to this?
I know, right? Yeah, he's a beautiful man. All right, I don't be able to have a stand a chance against that motherfucker. All right,
those blue eyes are something, aren't they, Eddie?
I don't know where he got them. Shit, we're both Latino, and we still don't. I ain't even close to that shit. All right,
he's like a different species of Hispanic.
He's a different kind of Hispanic. He ain't me. Anyway, all right, boys. That's gonna do it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate the hell out of you guys. Shout out to everyone in the comment section. We get us through as many as I can really quick. Jeremiah, Bruce, Lou. Otis was here earlier. Elbert, enjoyed the Suns game. I'll catch you on Saturday.
One of them liked my hat. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That was Jeremiah from I want to say Nigeria is what he said. And then Tank was here. Who else we got? We got Casual Viewer was here. Someone in Casual Viewer. Sorry, dude, I didn't get to your comments. It's my bad. And everyone else tuned in. Ivan early on. Appreciate the hell out of you guys. You can follow Alex. Actually, all our handles are right here. Just look around. Alex Behunin. And at Double G on TV. Shout out to everyone in the chat. For myself, Alex, Gabriel, the entire Cageside Press team. We love you guys. CagesidePress.com this entire week. UFC 274 from the desert. Enjoy it.
Hey, all week, all media days. We're there.
Yeah. We're gonna be busy. All right. You guys have a good night. See you guys later.